viewers, print and electronic media. A very good morning to one and all. I am Srinu Appikonda, curator at this museum, who will be coordinating this session. I welcome you all to this lecture session on global boiling, air, water, soil pollution and diseases, measures to be taken for our survival, followed by an interactive sessions, career development in biology. The objective of organizing this session is to cover two topics. One is burning global issues, global warming, environmental concerns. The another point is that oftentimes students have some doubts in their mind that most of the students would like to pursue good career and grab good job opportunities, but they do not know how to proceed, whom to ask. So in the second session, this would be addressed. So to cover these two topics, we need indeed an eminent personality here. And today we are lucky to have such eminent personality, Professor Nabarun Ghosh, with us. I'm sure that is going to analyze in these two areas. Having witnessed in earlier sessions, in these laboratory sessions, I can ensure that you are going to have wonderful session in terms of insights, in terms of career guidance. Before I hand over the session to Professor Nabarun Ghosh, let me introduce Professor Nabarun Ghosh to you. In fact, his CV is Vasosal CV. He's been into the field of research for the past 32 years. Diversified research experience he has got. It takes much time to give comprehensive introduction, but let me summarize. Dr. Nabarun Ghosh is serving as a professor of biology, advisor of biology education at the West Texas A&M University, Canyon, Texas, and an adjacent professor at the Department of Environmental Toxicology, Texas Tech University, Lubbock, Texas. He has obtained 2 PhD degrees. PhD in cytogenics from the University of Calcutta, India, and also another PhD in biology from the University of North Texas, Denton, Texas. He had postdoctoral experience from Baylor College of Medicine, Houston. He has been teaching at West Texas A&M University for past 22 years. He is involved in research for 32 years long. His postdoctoral research involved ultrastructural studies using in situ hybridization, immunocytochemical labeling with transmission electron microscopy. Dr. Ghosh's research area is rather vast, as I already mentioned. Application of nanotechnology, biotechnology, cytogenetics, plant pathology, virology, mycology, allergenic and pathogenic fungi, electron microscopy, tissue culture, aerobiology, air and water quality. So see the diversified fields, he has got expertise. He has collaboration with many laboratories. He served as the president for Texas Society for Microscopy. He is a member of the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology, and 15 other scientific societies. He presented his research nationally, internationally, all over the world. Dr. Ghosh has received 12 awards from the West Texas A&M University and Texas and A&M University system. Distinguished Graduate Faculty Award in 2007, followed by Attributed Honors Medal 2016 and 2019, and the Texas A&M University systems. Chancellor Teaching Excellence Award in 2010 and 2011, ACUE Medal in 2022, is lab analysis, the aerogen index for the Channel 4 and 7 TV news. Here we are indeed lucky, sir, to have you with us. So with this, now may I now request our director, sir, Sri Subrata Chaudhary, sir, to welcome Professor Nabarun Ghosh with a bouquet followed by a felicitation. May I now request our director, sir, Sri Subhadra Saudhary, sir, to deliver his welcome address.
Very good morning. I heartily welcome Professor Nabarun Ghosh to today's program. I welcome also Professor Bishit Ghosh, an eminent, educationist in the field of biological sciences from Vivekananda Centenary College. I welcome the guardians, the students who are very much inclined to pursue their career in this line. I welcome those who have joined online over here. This biotech lab has become one of the most important and well-visited component of Birla Industrial and Technological Museum. It has got huge demand and it has been conducting round the year a lot of programs. Apart from the weekend activities for those who have enrolled in the biotech lab, we have been doing a lot of programs, workshops and other things to bring this biological science to the students and making students for science. Especially when I talk about Professor Ghosh, I think that it is the third time he is here to interact with the students. It is very interesting in the sense that we get a lot of, professors over here who are ready to give deliver address on specific topics. But we seldom get people who are ready also to spare some time, because most of them are very, very busy, to spare some times on hands-on experiments. So his hands-on experiments with the students, I'm sure that in the second session of today's program there will be something. So that will be very interesting. You can see that how experiments are getting approached by a very renowned persons. And apart from all the things, you can also will come to know rather the latest in the careers that you can think of in future. So he will talk not only about about the biotechnology or biology as a whole in USA, but also you just give a big spectrum of what one can do, a lot of things over here. So with that, I welcome you all once again. I am sure that you will enjoy this program. Thank you all. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Again, thanks for kind invitation and also giving me the opportunity to talk over here. Shubhabrato Chaudhary and also Srinu has been calling to United States. The time difference is there. Sometimes I'm calling him at 2 a.m. at night and he's replying that. So he works a lot and very sincere fellow for developing in education, giving shape to academia. So firstly, I'll share my experience with BITM. As I can recall, we were at 11th grade at Hare School, Calcutta, and many of my friends are there. I I'm really happy that they could make it, who are there besides Mr. Chaudhary himself. I still remember where we used to sit in the class and all those things, we shared the same thing. So basically, at that time, it was kind of eye-opener for me watching the planet Earth, and I will talk a little bit about in my presentation as well. So basically, watch the video, evolution of man, human, and all these things. So that really was really inspiring for me to select my career and proceed further. So I still watch like my one pastime during the weekend. I try to watch the Planet Earth and series from BBC America. It's really nice. Sometimes a video tells you a lot than a textbook. So let's, instead of talking more, let's start, since the presentation is there, and we can start with, they already introduced me, so I'm not going to tell you again everything. So next slide, please. And so I'm focusing today is one topic, not talking more about molecular technique or any other things, but I'm going to talk about something which, not as biologist or environmental scientist, but as a human being with conscience, we need to think about what we are going to face, and that is scientific truth. And we are seeing that, we are facing that, and we are feeling that, okay? So I'm going to talk more about global boiling. Everybody knows about global warming. Why we call it global boiling, I'm coming to that slide as well. Air, water, soil pollution, and diseases, everybody still remember, like, and it still happening, about COVID and antibiotic resistance bacteria. All those things are there. And some of the outlines, there are lots of, hundreds of measures could be there, but I will be talking like few of those which we can still take to save our own species. And the next part, which is, I believe, extremely important with the present day scenario, career development, because we don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, okay? So we were standing, I still remember, after 12th grade, I was standing in the queue in Presidency College for getting the form for chemistry honors. Then I started thinking, can I go for chemistry for higher studies? Do I love chemistry that much, or I love biology then? So then I switched to biology. Of course, that's the time. It's a dilemma here also. Like, what career path you should pick up, how to get a job, and all those things. So I'll try to focus a little bit on that. Next. So already they introduced everything here. Next one. Yeah, some of my students, as you can see, what they're doing like this, there's a sign for our university, Buffalo. That's our mascot, West Texas A&M University. There are lots of students who are now well established in the medical school, or this one is in Paris doing higher research. She is in teaching. So there are lots of students who did research with me as well. Next one, please. So some of my collaborators here, and some beginner students, and this is at Texas A&M College Station. My research group, they were presenting. I had collaborators like Dr. Konstantin Sade, the medical doctors over there. So both USA and UK, I had collaborations. Had collaboration with Mark Olsen from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in biochemistry, and she came from Nigeria and worked with us. And I will talk more about like during the career development and everything. So you have to keep your eyes focused. There will be struggle. Everybody has to go through if you want to go to the top. She had lots of struggle, but survived, and presently she is a scientist in FDA, Food and Drug Administration of United States. Next slide. A few of the things, like my recent interview was published, I think in April. Scientific American, a journalist from New York, called me and we had discussions for almost 1 hour 30 minutes, and that was published in Scientific American, one of the most reputed scientific journal. I come to TV, various channels, and talk about climate, as you can see, climatic condition, and all these, how it's changing. Next one. So here there is a link, and it's available on the Google as well. As you put my name and type Scientific American, then it appears. This morning also I checked, and you can read from there what I talk about. So our recent research on ABC News channel in America, American Globe News, that's a newspaper, news, in BBC World News, they focused our research because I have collaborators in UK as well. KFDA News channel and Healthline News. Our research is focused on National Institute of Health, which is NIH, and NCBI is also, I'm listed over there as an expert in biotechnology at National Center for Biotechnology Information. All kinds of information, those who know a little bit about molecular biology, that is a website, ncbi.com. Okay, as you go over there, they go from very basic level, grassroots level. You can learn, you can see everything about human genome, about the diseases, anything you want to know, you can get into that. Oh, of course, Scientific American. Next one. So this is a book we are trying to publish from Springer Nature. We're still working on it, and hopefully by end of this year, that is on nanotechnology we are trying to publish. Next one. The previous 2 books we already published, one from New York and another one from the state of Texas. Next one. So, air pollution. I'm trying to focus on that. Everybody knows, particularly winter time, as you open your eyes, you come out, you try to walk, you can breathe. Delhi, that was second most polluted city earlier. Beijing was on the top. When I went to China, as we went out of the car, we started coughing instantly. And surprisingly, we saw that the people on the bicycle, everyone was wearing masks. Remember, that was long times back before COVID. But the air was so heavy, if I may say so. Okay, so the soil particles, they are floating in the air because of all the activities. Okay, so in Delhi, the major problem, all of you know, that is coming from the survey, like the agricultural practices. They burn the residues, and that's one time. Another time is Diwali. Okay, it reports that the PM 2.5 micron and PM 10 microns, that the particulate matter number increases. Let me explain a little bit instead of telling that, in easier terms so that you can understand. PM stands for particulate matter. And 2.5 micron is the size, like, think about all of you know, you have seen centimeter scale, right? So think about 1 millimeter, that is so little tiny area. That is 1 millimeter, if you divide that into 1,000, which can be done microscopically, right? So that is 1 micron. So 1 micron is equal to 1,000th time of a millimeter. So roughly, size of a bacterium is 1.2 micron. So if you put them side by side, you will end up roughly 1,000 bacterium in 1 millimeter area. So that's micron. So 2.5 micron is very, very tiny particle. Question comes, why are we concerned about this PM 2.5? I had 3 graduate students who is working presently on PM 2.5. One physician, Dr. Prabir Banerjee, he's supposed to come over here as well. He did work over here as well. He came back to Calcutta and Howrah. He checked on PM 2.5 concentrations. So PM 2.5, it is so tiny. Chemically, it can be anything, okay? And it can be the particulate matter coming out from metals. They are floating. and we are inhaling that. It's going through our nostril, going through trachea, going to lungs, entering into bloodstream, going to soft tissues. Once anything is in blood, all of you know, it can run to any of the organs. It's residing over there, changing the gene expression can cause cancer. That's where it has drawn our attention. PM 2.5, normal rate should be in a cubic feet here, they calculate 35. 50 is okay, still you can survive. The number in some areas in Calcutta is 350. In Delhi, it crosses 650 during winter time, and 18,000 schools were closed. So that is a major issue. Why are we considering that is major issue? Because of another fact that last year's the WHO publication shows, World Health Organization, out of 8 people dying in the world, 1 is dying because of air pollution. Unfortunately, that number has been changed this year, 2024, I read the latest one. It says out of 7, 1 person dying of air pollution. Now you realize why that is so important. The next one is fertilizer. Fertilizer, the chemicals we are adding to our soil. We are adding pesticides. We are adding herbicides. What would be the effect of that? We are coming to that point, and we'll see what has been happening and what is going to happen. So, Amazon, as you see, the forest fire, I didn't know that. 2 years back, when Amazonian forest fire was there and it destroyed a major portion of that forest, thousands of species of animals died, plants died. A group of graduate students from my lab, they did the research and they figured out most unfortunate part in the news. That is, Amazon fire was induced by local people to use the land. So as we were discussing, everything is politics. You want some money for the land, and that was destroyed. Deliberately people burned that. And I will come to the point that I always get the news from the journalist and looking at the newspaper. Here what is happening, here means I'm talking about West Bengal, people are putting acid, making a hole in the trees so that they die and you can use the wood. It's the latest one. They set fire so that you can utilize the land. And other things are happening. This is so gloomy prospect, so that, that second part, I will talk about that next one. Climate change is here, everybody knows about it, you can see. It is terrifying and it is just the beginning. UN headquarters, July 2023. And that causes untimed monsoon, and you know what happens with that. And then other part of the world with the scorching heat. Okay. The frequency of the incidence of forest fire, even just if I consider on the United States, one of my graduate students is focusing on that, forest fire. It's a major problem, taking hundreds of lives. A few months back, where I live, that is Texas Panhandle, if you think of the map of Texas, it has similarity with the Texas map, has similarity with the Indian map. So where you see Kashmir, that's where I live. That's called Texas Panhandle area, the square area there. In the history of Texas Panhandle in the last 300 years, there was no such forest fire like this year. Only few months back we had that. Many of our friends' home got burned, people died, cattle, hundreds and thousands of cattle died. So forest fire, what causes this forest fire? If you think deeply, when the plants, trees are getting too much dry, you have volatile oil moving, you don't have to set fire, you don't have to put a cigarette butt over there or matchstick. It's automatically they are because of friction, they set fire. California, we had fire, and it's going on. Australian fire destroyed thousands of species. Next one. So, UN chief issued a warning on climate change. The era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived. Antonio Guterres, that was in July 2023, last year. I remember because July I came here. And while going back, it was very hot here in the summer, and elderly people can tell more about like how the temperature is increasing here. I was going through Asia, other countries, Bangkok, it was very hot. Japan, I cannot believe the temperature went like 44 degree Celsius over there. The temperature went up that much, okay, which is really unusual temperature for Japan. So all the way as I arrived, temperature not Celsius anymore, in Fahrenheit in United States. We arrived at Dallas Fort Worth Airport continuously. We had some time and I was watching the news. 5-6 times the same news they were showing. The temperature in the city called Fort Worth, DFW, they call it Dallas Fort Worth, side by side two cities. Fort Worth, 118 degree Fahrenheit. And it continued in my previous year. In Celsius it will be very, very high. Okay, 46, 48 degrees Celsius, like that. So last time during my talk I focused what exactly is happening, how it's affecting us. Last year 16 scientists from 16 different countries worked together only looking at chlorophyll synthesis. What is chlorophyll? Who can tell me? Anybody? Yes, go ahead please.
Chlorophyll is a green magnesium-containing pigment that helps plants absorb sunlight to perform photosynthesis.
Perfect, very good, thank you. So yes, she is right, chlorophyll. But did you ever think about chlorophyll is the major molecule for life? If you think deeply, what we are breathing in is oxygen, and what we are eating, you will tell, well, I'm carnivore, so I eat meat only. Even if you are eating meat, still you are dependent on those herbivores, cattle, who are eating the plant products. So what I mean to say, our food, our oxygen, it's coming from that activity, biochemical activity, which we call photosynthesis. That's the basic biochemical process which helps us to sustain, which means us means I'm using the higher forms of life. That chlorophyll synthesis was down significantly last year, 2023, if you check it came out in Nature. So if you check chlorophyll, biosynthesis and all these things, it's available over there, so you can read this. The most scary part, they are telling, this temperature, if continues, like beyond 42 to, again, whatever, some places were 55 degrees Celsius. If that continues for more than a month, there will be defoliation, leaves will be dropped, plants will die, and you know what will happen if the plants die, I just mentioned. So, next one please. So, I'm bringing one story here. It is not story anymore. It lasted very long till 2030. I teach that part in class to make that's the course for biology teachers I teach, to make the people aware about it. So I tell simply like what you are throwing to your environment, a plastic bottle, it will come back to you. How? That's what I'm going to talk. Like it will enter into the system and it will come back to you. People did not realize till the first evidence, 1950s, when this place is called Minamata, a Bay Area, industrial area in Japan. So what was happening over there? Suddenly they found their cats were committing suicide. Sounds funny, but the cats were just behaving totally weird, jumping into water and committing suicide. Then they figured out that started happening to the people. They have numbness in their arms, legs, lips, and there are also neurological disorder and damages. So, first time it came into news as infamous Minamata Bay disease. Next one. So what was happening over there? It was a small fishing town, and if you know, Japanese are very fond of fish. So sometimes, you know, I was flying with Japan Airlines, and what they served was kind of a raw fish, you know, with vinegar and everything. Could not eat that because my Bengali tongue that did not allow it to. We love fish, but you need to fry a little bit. In China, the same thing happened. I requested them, please fry. Can you please fry it so that I can eat? So anyway, the thing is, Japanese love raw fish. They eat that, all kind of fish products. And people got sick, and they figured out there was a corporation named Chizo Corporation in Japan. They approximately 27 tons of methyl mercury they released in Minamata Bay. And that was reported, they found in 1959. That poisoned people, poisoned the pregnant women, until 2013, just a few years back, 2013, it was reported the babies were born with genetic defect. And that was, remember, 1950 when Minamata Bay disease. Next one, please. So, 1968, look at how long it took, almost 18 years or more. Then they stopped poisoning the Minamata Bay water. According to Japan government, 2,955 people contracted Minamata Bay disease, 1,784 people died from this mercury poisoning. That reminds me about Bhopal. We were kids and we were reading that so sad story. I think a movie came out, it's also very sad. Good learning for future people. Before you do anything, you must check. You must check whether it is safe for mankind or not. Still people are dumping plastic and garbage into the ponds, rivers, seas, destroying the aquatic lives. So we were in a workshop at Harvard University, and a professor, he was talking about, so he was telling, we always think about forest. We never thought about phytoplanktons. Planktons which are floating, right? Zooplanktons, phytoplanktons. Zooplanktons are animal-like, phytoplanktons plant-like, including cyanobacteria. So they are floating over there, they are producing tons of oxygen. And if you check on nowadays Google search, you can do everything. Google Scholar, go over there, 70% of the oxygen we get from there, and we are polluting the sea. If the video works, then I'll show you exactly what is happening. So again, there is compensation and everything. So I was talking about Sir David Attenborough. He's still alive, he's 98, but again, I watched, he was talking about evolution, about planet, about everything here in BITM when at the 11th grade. So I still listen to his talks, and of course he is enlisted for Nobel Prize, and we sent the petition also, I signed that. He is telling here, if we have not taken dramatic action within the next decade, he said, we could face irreversible damage to the natural world and the collapse of our society. Human survival is a big question mark. Next one. Again, another warning came out. That was long time back, 1960s. The name of the book is Silent Spring. Rachel Carson wrote that. President Kennedy of the United States at that time, he banned that book. Very, very surprising. And so what she is talking about here, very simple thing. She is talking about the spring would be silent, and it was silent in 1960s, in the United States, bordering areas in Mexico, in Canada. Why spring was silent? What happens during spring? Or the birds are singing over there, right? No bird was there to sing. What happened to the birds? DDT, one of the major, she is calling it biocide. DDT was produced. And let's move to the next slide. We have a little more data. President Kennedy of Science Advisory Committee examined and banned the book. But DDT came under much closer government supervision and was eventually banned. Dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, one of the major pesticide, 1930s, Paul Muller developed, and it got spreaded all over the world. When we were little kids, we remember that the wheat grains, those were coming out from ration shops, was mixed with white powder. My grandma came to know this white powder is a killer thing, so what she used to do, firstly cleaning that DDT, then getting the grain, and then to make the bread. But not many people would do that because it was everywhere. DDT was everywhere. It was detected in the eggshells of the birds, and so DDT killed all the insects, including beneficial and harmful insects. And those were ready food for those birds. They ate those DDT poisoned insects and they died. So that was that started, and it was going on. So DDT was used in India and other countries, of course, to kill mosquito. Because mosquito, all of you know now, dengue is a major issue, malaria, okay, to stop that. But 1970s, mosquito developed gene to DDT resistance. I have seen the picture in the journal that mosquito is walking on DDT. Insects has that capacity. They evolve very fast. So the roaches, they had the same kind of thing. But here again, going back to the story of DDT, DDT increased in our adipose tissue, human being, male and female samples were taken, analyzed in the lab. DDT level was 0.128 ppm, not 0.8, 8 ppm means parts per minute. Yes, you know that, very good. So that is really high concentration in all the developing countries. Even 2003, the textbook I was teaching in biology class in America, the textbook, What is Life, and that's the name. So they are reporting 44% of the vegetables and fruits sold in the border of US and Mexico, they are contaminated with DDT, still there. So, next one please. So, I'm trying to look at here, I probably presented this earlier, but those who are new, I'm trying to look at that. We have to stand against. Unfortunately, most of the people don't. I'm talking about scientists mainly, faculty members. You have to stand against when you are seeing something happening wrong in your locality. Okay, so that happened long times back, 1997, as you can see, it was published. Rebecca Rodriguez was one of my students, 1995 in my biology class, just like she was listening, just like you are listening to me. So I talked about radioisotopes, gamma radiation, and other types of radiation, how they can cause damage, can cause cancer, all these things. 1997, she was working in Dallas Observer, one of the most circulated newspaper in Dallas area. She came back to my office. Dr. Ghosh, you talked about all these. The radioisotope can be damaging the system, living system, human. I said, yes, of course. So I gave her all the information, what happened in Chernobyl and other places. That time Fukushima did not happen, of course, in Japan. So that 1997 computer was not that good. So I took her to the library, UNT library, and got all the photocopies, information, everything about what was happening over there. The city called Denton, there was International Isotopes Incorporated. They were trying to establish one factory for producing radioisotopes in a place where it was surrounding area. You have 10 or more public school. Little kids are going over there. So any accident happens, you can realize that. Because that's what we do, that's what my work was, radiation on chromosome damage. We have seen, we visualize that. So I talked to Rebecca about it, and I took her to other faculty members at UNT who also supported the view. Dr. Ronald Vela was my professor as well, Dr. Smith. All of them, they supported my view, and it was publicized, and it came out. It's still available in the newspaper. It's still in, but Dr. Nabarun Ghosh, a biology professor at the University of North Texas, says a plant means factory here, like this should be at least 40 to 50 miles, I believe more, away from the urban area. The effects of radioisotopes on the human body are unclear, and those who advocate strict regular testing radioactive level for before dumping. You may not see the effects for 20 or 30 years, but I have hundreds of documents that prove radioisotopes cause diseases including cancer. It came out in the front page of Dallas Observer. I started receiving threatening phone calls. What are you doing? What you are? I said, I'm working on my doctoral here and also teaching here at North Texas since I had a PhD from India. You are not a US citizen. I said, no, I'm not. Why are you getting bothered? I said, I'm bothered. This is happening because I know about this, and this can cause damage, and I will talk about it. You have to leave the country. I said, I will leave. I already have a PhD. I'll move to Australia. Nobody cares. So, or going back to India, whatever. But I will tell about it. The good thing happened as it came out in the newspaper. You know people, mob fury. People started gathering. They had meetings in Civic Center in Denton. Thousands and thousands of people were there. Good part was that time our dean, Dr. Rolly Schaefer, who was a physiologist and biologist, he supported our view. All 10 faculty members supported my view. There was agitation. There was representative from International Isotope, and they told, they were trying to explain, you know, it will be 100% safe. He said, yeah, Russians claimed 100%, it was 100% safe in Chernobyl. See what happened. Okay? So finally, that was dropped. So my point here, with your capacity, try to stand against when you see somebody is burning tire, you have to stop that. Okay, so next one. So I'm talking about atrazine, another major threat over there. My graduate students are working, so same thing applied here as well. Any kind of insecticide, herbicide you have, it's coming to water and it gets into your system. Already they put restrictions in United States and they banned that in European Union. Next one, please. So that's the research I was talking about, my graduate student who has been working, looking at chromosome breakage and the system using the Daphnia system, the water flea. They are dying and the number of death increases with very little increase in atrazine. Atrazine is everywhere over there. We think like, well, United States, everything is clean and beautiful, very nice. Wrong idea. There are lots of pollution happening, and there are lots of people are working on that. Atrazine is one very widely used in the state of Texas and Minnesota for crops like sorghum, corn, and others. So that's one area. Next. So there was one video clip. I don't know whether you can play it, otherwise I'll talk a little bit about it. Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, it has, just click over here, it should. not working. No, not the previous one. This one. Anyway, if it doesn't work, just go forward. No problem. So go to the next one. That's talking more about climate change, and what I'm talking about here, probably most of you know about carbon dioxide. It's kind of repeating concept, those who already know, 1.5 times heavier. I still remember our chemistry teacher, Tarapado Babu. He used to make us the gases. I can tell you all, I think the same system is followed. I don't know what kind of system is followed here now in the school. But you learn from the basic. Here in the school, at master's level, I'll give you example. So we made our own carbon dioxide and collected in a beaker. If you remember, Viddu or Achinto, we collected in this way. If not, did you do that or left the school for some? Okay, anyway. So we collected that in a beaker. How come you can collect the gas in the beaker? Because it's 1.5 times heavier than air. And how can you tell the gas is there? Can you see carbon dioxide? No. You have a candle, you just turn it on. Simple experiment, simple way, but you learn. So, carbon dioxide, one major problem in the greenhouse gases, and I'm coming to that point. Methane is other one we are generating in agricultural field, in the cattle. The problem with methane, it is 30-fold stronger greenhouse gas. I repeat, it is 30-fold stronger greenhouse gas. Next one. Again about methane, like science you have to observe and learn. I don't know how much you do. Those who are in village areas, we used to go over there and 24 Parganas, and you could see there was ghosts. Dipnarayan, you can tell, right? The ghosts moving over there. We used to call alea. Anybody remembers that? Alea. Some kind of ghost moving. What is that? That's it. Okay. So everybody knows exactly what is happening here. Imagine this very hot over there outside. You are wearing a thick jacket and you are standing under bright sun. What will happen to you? You will start sweating because the heat generated in your body, it cannot escape. The layer, the jacket you are wearing, that is formed of the carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, and many other gases, nitrogen dioxide and those. Those are forming that layer. Then what is happening? Greenhouse gas we use the term greenhouse. So some of the people can tell. That's why even somebody who is getting leadership, they should have little bit knowledge. That's what I believe. They can tell, destroy all the greenhouses. We won't have any greenhouse effect then. How about that? Okay. Greenhouse, everybody knows, that's a glass-made house. We keep our sensitive plants inside, right? And so during cold winter time, they can survive inside. And the glass is non-conductive to heat. So the heat is retained inside. That's the point. So here exactly the thing is mimicked by this global warming phenomenon, which turned to be global boiling. So what is happening here? The heat generated, the light is entering on the surface, making all the things warmer and warmer, like trees, like mountains, houses, metals, everything. And the heat which is released was supposed to escape, cannot escape, coming back, making the surface warmer and warmer. It was a kid story for many people earlier. They disagreed on global warming. Now if they go to Asian countries now or anywhere, even in the United States, the heat generated, it's much, much higher than what I saw 30 years back. Okay, so next one. So as we see, there are basically major problem. We are seeing melting of Arctic ice cap. polar ice caps are melting, bad news. You will tell, well, I'm here in West Bengal, in Calcutta, in somewhere. I am not worried about what's happening in the melting of polar ice cap or anything. But if you think logically, it has been increasing the sea level. Okay, those measurements they're giving over there. It may be very little appears over there, but it is a lot. And that will cause continental flooding. It started already in Sundarban area. It is there in Bangladesh. On Discovery Channel there was a video where a Bangladeshi lady, she's talking in Bengali that was translated. So basically I understand Bengali, so I was watching during my flight and I could understand what she was telling. She was telling where her home was, almost half a kilometer down. Now it is here. Next year she has to move maybe 1 kilometer up because the land is being flooded. It's prediction, and I listened to very knowledgeable scientist, geophysicist from UT Austin, 27 years. He is working over there, and they have exact graph representation telling at this point this will happen. Am I crossing my time? You don't know, okay, yeah, as long as you allow me, I will make it brief. But some of the things we need to explain, otherwise we will not understand. Next. So try this one. I really want, like any of those, if you can copy and go to YouTube. Yeah, there you go, very good. Sound?
Earth, the globe, Terra, our world. No matter what you call planet Earth, it is our home. In the small span of time that Homo sapien has existed, we have made profound impacts on the condition of our planet. From the depths of the jungle to the heights of the mountaintops, the human footprint is encountered across the expanse of the globe. One of the most prolific impacts humanity has had on our world lies in our oceans. Human waste, specifically plastics, have built up in our oceans,
Look at this.
posing an imminent threat.
You don't have to listen, just watch.
But to humans as well. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch illustrates the effects that we as humans have had on the marine environment. Located in the northern Pacific Ocean and the largest of 5 garbage patches, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the product of tons of debris which have made their way into the ocean from lakes.
That's
rivers,
coming out from the
streams.
ocean.
The garbage caught in this patch is unable to escape, caught in a vortex created by ocean currents. The patch, more than 3 times the size of Texas, spans from the coast of Japan all the way to
3
Hawaii.
times than the state of Texas.
Furthermore, the total amount of garbage in the patch is impossible to calculate because of the thick layers of built-up waste. A lot of the garbage in the water is made up of type N plastics, consisting of abandoned fishing nets and plastic rope. Type H hard plastics and type F foam plastics also comprise large portions of the patch. Since
That's a
more
sad
than
picture.
180 times more plastic than food is found at the surface of the garbage patch, unsuspecting sea life, such as sea turtles, can have up to 74% of their diets composed of this ocean plastic. Although it may appear that the effects of the garbage patch end with marine life, it has become evident that these patches lead to detrimental effects for human life as well. While plastic does not organically degrade,
That's why
it
I'm
does still break down into what experts have termed microplastics.
microplastic.
These tiny fragments of plastic enter our food supply through seafood and sea salt. Once in our digestive systems, they disrupt the human endocrine system.
That's okay,
and grow our
let's stop. I don't want to spoil your lunch or something and you'll start cursing me for showing that. But that is scientific truth and it's very, very painful. It's happening, okay? So plastic pollution is a major threat to mankind. Besides that, anything human being created, you cannot even imagine what comes out of the sea. Some of my students, they work over there and there are research stations. They're finding those are floating in water. So we just take and we throw away. That's why my point is here that we have to educate people. After drinking the Coke or whatever water, you throw the bottle in the, in nature, that will come back to you as microplastic. Unfortunately, we have this microplastic on our system. We have to stop it, we have to make some effort. Already done, the positive things I'm talking about, from southern part of India, they developed using the corn, the fibers. They're making utensils from that. In UK already you have water bottle. They make in the edible water bottle. So once you drink water, then you can eat the bottle as well, which is very nice effort. It's not very easy to market because price will go up or something. But we have to start using more biodegradable materials. That's it. Those which biodegraded, it will be degraded automatically in nature. If you keep it non-biodegradable, that is really problematic. Next one, please. So that's the point I was talking about. Immediate measures have to be taken. You have to have stringent law. 1940, we had 40,000 Royal Bengal tigers in Sundarban. 1972, it went down less than 2,000. Now it is up again, because if you kill a tiger, then you will be imprisoned. We have to have that kind of stringent law for cutting down the trees. If we figure out and I talked to a journalist here, Channel 9 journalist. He was telling me, Dr. Ghosh, do you know 12,000 Devdars trees were chopped down in Bardwan. That's a vicious circle. Money is going from here to there and all other things. People don't realize. You have to realize it, like Chipko movement. Okay? They were not like rocket scientists or big scientists. You don't have to be. All you need to understand, if the tree is there, I will survive, my next generation will survive. Okay? So that's what we have to figure out. Stop doing that. Stop polluting seawater, plastic, going to Digha, drinking some beverages, alcoholic or anything else, throwing the can, throwing the bottle in water. If you tell them, first thing they will tell, who are you? It happened to be, believe me, that's why I'm telling you that at one point you have to object. I'm telling you that was again 1993-94. I took 30 students from my biology class, UNT, to an excursion. And we saw a guy, elderly guy, he was changing motor vehicle oil. And after changing the oil, he was putting in a creek, small stream of water. And that stream is connected with Lake Ray Roberts, is a big lake and recreation area. So I asked him, sir, what are you doing? Very politely. In Texan accent, he said, what it bothers you? Why are you getting bothered? He said, I'm not bothered, sir. What are you trying to do? I'm just changing my vehicle oil. I said, okay, that's fine. But why are you dumping in water? Now, he was rude to me. By that time, 30 UNT students, they arrived, Dr. Ghosh, any problem? And some of them play in Dallas Cowboys, 7.5 height. I had to talk to him. He said, any problem? So then he got scared. I said, sir, I'm very politely trying to explain to you. The oil you are putting over here is going to Lake Roberts. Yes, so what? It will be diluted. I said, yeah, it will be diluted, but do you go for fishing? Yes, I do. My grandsons go over there for fishing. And do you know this water, will be polluted, and you have mercury and everything that will get into phytoplankton, the little plants, and then the fish will eat, and that's how you get poison. He realized that. You have to educate people. He apologized. Then all of us worked together. We had some paper towel and everything, took out the oil from there, which was floating over there, and then cleaned it. So you have to educate people. They're always not bad. Restrict the usage of agricultural chemicals. Again, knowledge is one thing. That is very important. Many of you will not become biologists, you don't have to. Many of them will become, the students will become computer scientists. But basic biology is needed for all living human beings. COVID taught us. Okay, so I'm talking about, this is a well-learned person. I'm not giving you the name, but he was a professor in computer science and very good friend of mine, Bengali. And one Sunday like this, we were invited at his home and we are staying over there. His two sons, they were very little at the time, they were playing outside and he was spraying Weed Be Gone. That has 2,4-D, 2,4,5-T, that was mixed and made Agent Orange. Who know little bit history in Vietnam War, the US soldiers used to spray the Agent Orange all over the trees, causing defoliation, and they used to shoot the soldiers from Vietnam. As a result, it poisoned everything. Birth defect is still there in Vietnam as a cause of Agent Orange. And that 2,4-D is used in Weed Be Gone. And the little kids from, that professor, computer science professors, they were going and following the little one, even sniffing, what dad is doing, let's see. And 2,4-D reported, like when it is used, Weed Be Gone, the little kids can be sterile, 5 or 6-year-old can be sterile in their future life. So that's why little knowledge is very important. Dr. Ghosh, the Professor Ghosh, Vishwajit Ghosh will also demonstrate plant tissue culture and biotechnology. That is another answer to us producing thousands and thousands of baby plantlets and putting them back in the nature, and that's how we can save. So basically, these are again YouTube available. Those who are interested, you don't have to ask anybody, just to go to Google search, type my name, Dr. Nabarun Ghosh, and type antibiotic resistant bacteria. Thanks to Shubhabrato, and at that time, they did great job with a grant. They were bringing that in the mobile lecture in Bengali language and also in English. Okay, it is important to know what causes bacterial resistance and what exactly is happening next. So I'm almost done with the part. So I already talked about another last thing I would recommend. The major problem happens people don't know. One theory tells us that the coronavirus, SARS virus came out from the wild animals. If you visit the wild animal, market in China, it's pathetic. So now you have to have international law. That's it. You have to have international law, not any country. Like we thought something is happening in China. I still remember the date, 11th March, we are flying back from 2020, flying back from College Station. Somebody said 11 people died in China from a new virus called COVID. And then what happened, we know about it. So anything happening our neighboring country, in other countries, it should be, all the nations should work together to stop it. Otherwise another COVID will come very soon. Next. Now I'm getting into career in biology. Mostly I will give you time answering your question. Okay, so here you can see, again you go to Google search and type career in biology in India. All these areas are there, starting from biology researcher, all the way biochemistry, botany, zoology, any area you can pick up. But as I have been telling, you have to have a proper target. Next slide, please. At that time, our time, it was called ARS, right? And so this is one great area to serve the country. Agricultural Scientist Recruitment Board. So the exam is there. If you are a botanist, zoologist, any branch of biology you take, of course check what kind of topics are important. What subject area you have to cover. If you study well, definitely you can make it. So this is a good next one. So this is one medical entrance exam. You can prepare definitely, okay? And yes, I'm coming to that point. I hear the news and everything, I know. Not becoming frustrated. Next one, just for information. Indian Forest Service is another one. So IFS. Next one. I will come back here. Next one. Yeah, this is the main slide I would like to focus for all of you. I know the frustration. I faced that during that time. Okay? Nothing doing. I cannot do anything. There is so much corruption. All these will come in your mind. But remember, struggle for existence. You have to do something, and you can do it, believe me. The reason I'm telling that, all of us, our friends are in that group that called BM80, Batchmate 80. One of our friends, Sudipto, posted a very painful video over there. You can see one professor, what he's talking about, all this scam in the exams. So even I'm in United States, I listen to all the channels, 24 Ghanta, it goes over there, ABP goes over there. BBC World News is the best covering about India. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about. So they were showing the worst thing I saw. The clippings, little page, before that person, that student committed suicide, he or she is writing sometimes in their mother tongue, sometimes in English. Sometimes in mother tongue, sometimes in English. I'm committing suicide because of this and that. That's really painful. That's really, really painful. And they were smart students. So don't stop over there. So that's why I'm telling you, don't just make just plan A. Keep plan B, plan C, plan D, other options. And you can study, you can do anything if you have mental setup. The gentleman just arrived here. Just you can please stand. I'm introducing him. Dr. Prabir Banerjee. His degree. He worked on those PM 2.5. And his name is there, I will acknowledge. So, at this age of only 35, as you can see him, he completed the degree with me. He's going to Washington for his PhD now. It's doable. I told you that we were planning to get MD PhD together. I and you will go and get that one. But anyway, so I just wanted to tell you, inspire you. You can do it. You can do it. If you want to stay, of course, that's the best thing you can do. In staying here in India, you can pick up the job. You can go for competitive exams and whatever you can target, do that. But again, remember what I said? Keep plan B because A may not work. Keep plan C because B may not work. And you have to really work hard. There is no other thing. We still don't have any artificial intelligence or any CD that connect in your brain and you learn everything. Learning is very difficult, hard thing. He was in my class, bioinformatics. He was in my class, cytotechnology, human genetics. So he, even after his MD degree, MBBS, MD, and DM, all these degrees he learned over there. Only 2-3 years back, did the research. So there is no age limit in learning, at least in United States. But again, I'm telling you, so you can target. You can target. And our university will be, taking many students for graduate level. Don't try to go to undergraduate level. It is very, very expensive. And unless you get a fellowship or something like that. Masters, you can go easily, that's much easier. Now, I am not telling you just you have to go to United States to survive. Try to do something here. If you are successful, definitely, okay? The competitive exams I was talking about, all of you know about IAS, IFS, IPS, all these exams you have to give. And it may happen some of the exams, results will be scammed and will be cancelled. Take another one, okay? That's what we have to face, because like think of COVID when it came. We survived, we are human beings. So you have to plan. I am giving you the target your goal, work hard, fix your study hours. Study cannot be done by fluke. Maximum I studied, I remember 18 hours for my pathology class. Not more than that, I couldn't survive beyond that. 18 hours all over I studied, okay? Remember load shedding at that time, so my younger brother made one light with a battery. So you can do it, because our professor, Dr. Gupta over there, Deepak Gupta, used to tell, it's not fun like any Uttam Kumar movie, okay? You take a book and done, first class first, okay? It does not happen. And he also used to tell, can you show me that one person died, learning, died? Not there, okay? So that's the only way to go out, unless you really have a big business or something, you're sitting over there. But anyway, so going back, outline your study technique. People learn differently. My learning is different than yours, okay? So what I used to do just after reading the chapter and everything, I would write down on a scratch paper. And that I taught many of my graduate students who got D Pharm, Mandy Whiteside, got Pharm D degree over there, okay? And all other, even I told you, like, take a little scratch paper after we cut it, and then you write down what you learned from there. Keep it in your textbook. And then, before the test, take it out and look through. It will help you to memorize. So there is no easy way in learning and to get a good job. So again, as I said, they use flashcard, lots of flashcard they use in United States, but even scratch paper will work. I'm just sharing one thing. You have nowadays all digital and best types of tools you are using. At that time, we had tape recorder only. And before our cytogenetics special paper, final exam, I got small, got pox. And Sumitra was telling, why do you get this time? I said, Didi, I did not. But what I was doing, I was lying down on the bed, but continuously listening to the lectures recorded from Professor A.K. Sharma, from Archana Sharma, from Sumitra, listening to that repeatedly, time to time. That works much better way. I figured it out. So I'm going to teach after going back to United States, July 1st week. After, I will start teaching 2 courses. One is human genetics. I already posted the lectures over there. So what I tell to the students, listen to that time to time, take notes from there, what I'm talking about. Then you do cross-referencing, look at, nowadays digital things, NCBI website, you go over there. You will find Google Scholar, you will find lots of information. So study in that way. Make sure you personalize learning, and hours of the day work for you. I know you have to work. Okay, I had to do tuition as well, tutoring over there, and then after coming back at night, studying. So you have to develop it. The good news for all of you, most of the universities are dropping GRE requirement, and I supported that. Just sent the email yesterday, and it was accepted. So no more GRE is required, particularly even for bigger universities like Texas A&M College Station.
It happened after COVID.
Yes, exactly. Because GRE was good. It was very tough. But many students cannot survive with that, although they are good students. So GRE is being dropped. Your background, average, exam, class exam, everything is important. Don't ignore that. We could not, because we would be beaten. we would be beaten two ways, by our teachers, okay? We were discussing that one of our friends, Shyamashis Bandyopadhyay, probably you have seen him quite a few times appearing on Dr. Shyamashis Bandyopadhyay in Apollo. So we used to sit together. His roll number was 18, mine was 19. So anyway, we were sitting together. So, so what he was telling, okay, so several times he got beaten by the teachers. If you don't do good, or during the time of class, you are going to play in cement smart. No, we used to play football, of course. The teacher will follow you, and we are fortunate to have that kind of excellent teachers who would follow you to the movie theater. Nayan Ranjan Bose went over there and they asked for ticket. He said, I am mathematics teacher of higher school. Everybody is scared of mathematics teacher. Okay, I'll let you go, sir. He went, and suddenly those who were watching that Hindi movie felt something on the ear, and he picked them up and taking them back to the school. That kind of dedicated teacher, we still just, but anyway, so you have to basically frame yourself, develop yourself, your career. Think of what you want to do and keep the target. Keep the target, do not give up. If you give up, then you fail. I was showing the picture of Bola, probably go next one. I know all of you are hungry, sorry I took too long. Next one, stay this one, because this is for everyone. Scientists, scholars, Fulbright fellowship is offered to everyone, and you can go to United States for as an exchange visitor and study over there as well. So US, India, there are hundreds and thousands of scholars are going over there. So that is one good opportunity. Go to United States, India, Educational Foundation, they will give you the list of universities, what exam you have to take. As I said, GRE is taken off, but most likely TOEFL you have to take. TOEFL is test of English as a foreign language. You also took Dr. Banerjee, you have to take TOEFL as well. It's a requirement, doesn't matter. So next. So once you get accepted, you get F1 visa and then ready to fly. So this is my present lab researchers. Mostly my lab is full of different countries, everywhere, starting from Vietnam, China, of course USA, India, a lot. Probably I had 20 students graduated and were doing great from India. So next. So this is the picture I was talking about, and every time I talk about also this lady, she's in the medical school now, so Rebecca, and so did real hard work, struggled, and the best part, I supported her because her grandma was sick, very old. The grandma reared her up, so she used to take care of the grandma. Some of the time she was not there in the research. I said, take care of your grandma first. But she got admitted to the medical school, very smart student. I talked about Bola, Bolanli Eniola, came from Nigeria. Very hard, you all speak so good English, During our time, it was difficult for us. Our knowledge from English was like Western movies, Clint Eastwood movie or something like that. And we had a little radio to listen to Voice of America or something like that. But you are good English speaking. So that one advantage you have. Bola had problem in speaking. Nobody would understand her English, that was problematic. But slowly she started developing. But at that time, I had 12 graduate students. And unfortunately, all of them after her, including one Indian and one American, 2 guys. Just teasing her, bothering her. She used to come to my office and crying. That was really sad experience. So I set her up from 9 p.m., nobody's there in the lab, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. Got the permission from the dean because that could be problematic. But she worked over there. She worked on estrogen receptors, breast cancer, and got her PhD. Now, as I mentioned earlier, she is a scientist at FDA Food and Drug Administration in the United States. Got married, got 2 kids, and sent me the picture. I said, you just clone them, they look like so anyway, so that was. This girl came from Afghanistan, 2003. She was sharing the experience. At one point, her tongue was papery, like about to die. Completed the medical school, Nilofer. Probably you have seen Nilofer at the time. Nilofer completed medical degree. She became eye doctor. So there are quite a few. This one is was a soldier in US Army. I made him academician. He is the head of the department in biology faculty in Clarendon College now. Anyway, so next one. So obviously Dr. Banerjee, I would acknowledge Chandni Revana. I probably talk about Chandni. I mean, anybody interested, that would be a long time story, but she got all her degree. Now she is working as Director of Health and Safety. Dr. Shaili Goel, with whom we are publishing, talk about Bola-MD. And there are many, many other students. I could not focus everyone, but definitely I acknowledge them. Next one. Of course, I would like to offer my heartiest thanks to Director Sir of the ITM, Shubhabrata Chowdhury, and Srinu Apatnanda, Curator of the ITM, for their kind arrangement in organizing the lecture. They have been excellent in serving to the society, encouraging the young blood like you. So that's what I would like to clap separately for their work. Okay. Thank you Shubhabrata, and thank you Srinu. You have been doing a great job, keep it up. Again, thank you so much for your kind hearing. If you have any question, you can ask me now, or I will have a separate session. Anybody has any question, please? Oh, Cyrus. This is Professor Chatterjee, who gave me the honor to hold the test tube in his lab. That's why I'm here. At that time, we had CSIR, GATE, all these barriers came. So nobody would be accepted as research fellow, but my target was into research. And he kindly selected me out of 8 students so that I could start research with DNES and later got CSIR. So he worked hard. We had lots of publications together and days and nights. So ideal teacher, because again, one night I will not forget. Biology is such a subject, you start getting result on one day. Like at Baylor College of Medicine, the same thing happened. With the knockout mice I was working. One night we got result, I cannot leave. I have to work even till 4 a.m. So one day I got all the chromosome plates. Sir probably remembers. So he took the time, worked till 10:30 at night, and he lives in Barakpur. So we went out and he got one bus, fortunately, and I was worried about him, but he spent all the time till my last slide picture was taken. So thank you, Chris. So any question if you have, any general question, yes, go ahead please.
Is global warming reversible? So is global warming reversible?
That's a very good question. There was a slide. That's what Mr. Attenborough is talking about over there. That in coming 2 decades, you can see here, in coming 2 decades, if we don't take the measures, some of the measures, I just mentioned only few, but there are hundreds of measures to be taken. If we cannot stop that, it is irreversible. Yes, it cannot be changed. It's going up and up. So our project was there with DNES to produce all those trees which will grow very fast. And I continued that research after going to United States. There were some species, sir probably remembers, Albizia falcatoria, in Dalbergia shishu and all those. Albizia falcatoria is a plant from, they call it Molaccana was the name earlier, okay, from Malaysia. It is a really fast growing tree. It can cross 3rd-story building real fast. And in my research, I used that, and from in vitro culture, I generated them. Those were used by US Forestry Department. They planted them in Florida. Some of my professors at UNT started telling the greenhouse is being pierced with your plants, so Nabarun, you have to take the trees out, they're growing so fast. So human being can do it, okay? So of course, we have to plant more trees, not destroying the existing trees. Like as I said, the most painful things were happening. People are putting acid, they're putting fire, they're chopping down the roots so that the trees can die and they utilize the wood. We have to stop that. We have to provide alternative energy sources to those people who are using fuel wood. So these are already some of the places they started working. But to be brief, as you asked the question, in 20 years, we'll be in a place that will be totally irreversible. From my knowledge, I can tell you, because melting of polar ice cap, it is not story anymore. US Geological Department used equipment cost like $5 million. From the top, you can sense if the ice cap is melting or not. And they can sense, they can see the scary part, it's melting. Last year, one big chunk of ice of the size of the Washington, D.C. just blocked all the penguins, their habitat. 1 million penguins died. So these kinds of painful things we see, we watch, we know about polar bear and what's happening. So definitely in 20 years, it will be irreversible. Any other question? Even career related, you can ask. Yes, go ahead.
Hello. First of all, thank you, sir, for providing this lecture. This was truly knowledgeable for me.
Thank you.
Sir, I come from a village of Uttar Pradesh, and
Okay.
as you said that the fertilizers and pesticides that are on the field going to the water polluting. But on my interest, I just did a small survey with the farmers to know that do they really want to use that chemicals, and over 70 to 80% farmers said no, but they have to use because government will not give them money for the organic fertilizers or the like biofertilizers. So what concern you do have, like what do you say that why the government is not having that vision there, and they are doing like it is said that government is only promoting those chemical fertilizers in place of that. So what do you say in this?
Very good question, and it's just not in India, it's all over the world, the same story. I mentioned in one slide, I didn't, because of time consumption, I did, time taken, I did not talk about glyphosate. Those are used very widely. Now, this is kind of two-edged knife. What you learn, you cannot use. Somebody, just like I talked about Minamata Bay disease, the same story in Mexican Bay. One of the US scientists, he was working, and I was a graduate student at the time, and he presented a beautiful work that this fish tissue has that much pollution and everything. So I had only one question, sir, did you publicize the fact? Did you tell those people who are eating that fish in the restaurants locally? He said, no, otherwise I'll lose my grant. So the thing is, the question you asked, it's not only just in Uttar Pradesh, but all over the world. As I said, it's two-edged knife, because if you stop using fertilizer, your productivity will go down. If you don't use pesticide, your crops will be destroyed. So you have to spray. And if you spray, it will be rainwater will take you to the other rivers and everywhere. So option, you already answered to that question. Biopesticides, which was used, I had one slide. 500 BC, that long back, okay, people used biopesticides. I was surprised to see, reading the history about pesticides. So people used to, when they could do that time, why not here during, we are so much advanced things we have. And things are happening, the good things are happening. There was another video I didn't have time to show you. In Japan, they developed a drone. It is AI controlled. It will take the seed and fertilizer and it will drop everywhere, so that for reforestation it's being worked. So that's a unique thing. So fertilizer, we have to do research. The money, instead of putting in somewhere else, government should put, all the government, in general I'm talking about, all over the world, each and every country's government should take initiative to figure out what would be the safest way for fertilizing and the soil and killing the pests. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for your meaningful message and for giving us a lot of knowledge.
Thank you.
So you have completed your research both in Kolkata and as well as abroad. So sir, as biotechnology students, so would you advise us or encourage us to go abroad and complete our higher studies, or would you say that India has the necessary resources and the facilities to complete our research here and actually create something or develop something of ourselves, sir? So what is your opinion?
Very good question. There are hundreds of biotech companies. They are doing great jobs. 2016, I went to inaugurate a biotech college in Nagpur under PTKV. It's one of the largest agricultural university in India. So I visited their laboratory and everything was excellent job they are doing. And many of the biotech companies which are doing great job in developing vaccine, pharmaceutical products. So those are being used in United States. I get medicine which is prepared in India, made in India, so we get over there as well. So there are jobs. My point was there, definitely your target should be the first, like if you are a biotechnologist or interested in this area, try to get into something that will be meaningful and you can get a job, okay? If you don't get a job, remember what I said, plan B, plan C. Don't write just a little note, I'm committing suicide for that, just like I mentioned about it. It does not help you, your parents, your family, or anybody. And I know the frustration. I feel that I already mentioned that. I took the CSIR exam and it was difficult that time. It is still now difficult, NET. And I remember like only few people from West Bengal, they got it. And the study we had to do at that time, we knew nothing about computer. We had to study computer, we had a paper. So don't just give up. And I did Bachelor of Education degree with first class. Professor Chatterjee kindly allowed us, but on the side of PhD. Why that? So that if I don't get anything, I will teach in the school. That's why I took Bachelor of Education. That helped me a lot during my job interview over there at West Texas A&M University. They said, oh, you have a degree also in education. I said, yes, this is a certificate, and with first class. I had psychology, I had life sciences and everything. So they said, okay, then we'll make you advisor for biology education. Then I served for DACB. DACB means Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board in Austin. I served for that. I served in the curriculum committee, what should be taught at the university. I'm still in the committee. The reason I'm telling that, and quoting sir at that time, I still remember, sir told us, জীবনের ধন কিছুই যায় না ফেলা বলেছেন মনে আছে? So you have to do it. You have to. I sat for 18 exams, including GATE, Graduation Aptitude Test in Engineering, in the year 1990. Then CSIR, then Bachelor of Education, then GRE General, then GRE Subject, then TOEFL, then TSE, Test of Spoken English from ETS, and FS also. So, because I was not confident, just like the situation you are facing, okay? Situation was better, at least. not the exam results were just cancelled or scam would be there at that level. We are discussing with other educators. I understand your pain, I understand completely. So that's why I'm putting that much effort in encouraging you that don't feel you are lost, never ever, okay? Now I can give you last example from my own fourth brother. He was a very good, all four of us were students from Hare School. His name is Dr. Nabarun Ghosh. So you can search for him on Google search. So he did his physics degree, okay, Bachelor of Physics first class from Presidency College, Master of Science in Physics first class. Physics is not very easy subject. All through his math score was 100 out of 100, okay. So 2001 when I came back, I figured out and my family members told that he was really, really frustrated because not get anything. So he applied, I encouraged him to applying over there. He got a position over there. He did another Master of Science, they allow you to study. See, remember I told you Dr. Banerjee is going for PhD after MD and everything. I did my second PhD in molecular biology after the degree here. They encourage you. So he went over there, got master's, got PhD from Rice University in southern part of Texas, which is also compared with Harvard. Did 7 years of postdoc. He is a scientist in NASA. Everybody knows the name NASA in Houston. So you can do it. Now, if you have any question, I am leaving my card. Email address is easily available. Any of my friends were telling, we don't know you, what is your email address? Easy way, type Dr. Nabarun Ghosh on Google search, see what comes up. You will see my picture, you will see my email. Send me the email, it may be 7 days, I may be busy, but I will reply to you. Again, at our university, those who completed bachelor's, you have a good chance, or later apply to our university, communicate with me. We'll probably be hiring 5-6 graduate students this year. So that's a good chance. Thank you so much. Please. Any other question? Yeah, if they have any question, I can answer. Okay, yeah, so they have some more questions, so it's okay. I can answer to the questions. Go ahead, please use the speaker so that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Apply in your university for the masters. Like we've completed our bachelor's this year.
Okay,
So
which
how do we
subject?
Get, biotechnology.
Okay, okay.
So how
Yeah,
do we get
sure.
there, and what is the?
What you have to do, firstly, you have to go to the university website. So Google search, go for West Texas A&M University, and go to the Office of Admissions, and send your what they call transcript, okay, and any recommendation you might have, or anything like credentials, even any biotech courses, certification you did. I would recommend if Professor Ghosh offers any biotech workshop, take that. That has a great value because you will learn more techniques. Apply what they want, that you write an essay. Okay, work on that. Why do you want to become a biologist, or why do you want to go to United States or West Texas A&M? All these you have to explain. So write it down. So there are some requirements. Normally they are very good, and you can put my name. Just write when you are writing to the Office of Admissions, put I was referred by Dr. Ghosh. That should be good enough. And you can copy that to my email address, nghosh@wtmu.edu, and I will see what can be done. Okay, and you can talk to me later as well.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
There are two websites of there, Grandcash, Grandcash, and Postback Cash. You can search there, according to the corn or something like that.
আরেকটু কাছে নিয়ে যান।
They will give you this thing. These are the things you can apply for that. That cash and post back cash. It is viable. Any university, list of university will come, and list of degree will come, and what is the session or semester they will say everything. So I have used it. That's why I'm saying. Okay, thank you.
So,
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Sir, I recently finished my graduation degree and I got selected in agriculture biotech in Narendrapur RK. So what is your think that what is the future of agriculture biotech in India and what can I pursue through that?
It is the best area, agriculture, biotech. As I visit IISc Bangalore, the laboratories, TIF, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, all the IITs, including IIT Bombay, I had a lecture over there as well, Cochin, southern part of India. Many of the labs here as well, they're doing excellent job in training you. But my point is that at the same time, when you are at the stage of getting hired, what they use the term in United States, like for getting the job. So the good thing about United States, what I learned, like the basic things I learned as I was telling here, you learn solid things here. For example, I'll give you one example that my graduate student was working on chromosomes and she was not getting any plate or color. It was not, we purchased costly Orsin for $100 from Sigma Ulrich. It would not work. So I took it, my Master of Science, the lab notebook, and we had another professor, Professor Ranujit Mollik. So he taught us how to make Orsin from the powder, from the scratch. So that's what we learned, and we applied. I taught my students, whoever did the research with chromosome, they prepare their own Orsin and get the best, all the plates, chromosomal plate. This also taught me when I was working as postdoctoral associate at Baylor College of Medicine, Division of Neuroscience. One single night experiment can cost like $10,000, believe it or not. And 9 postdocs were working in that project with knockout mice. Unfortunately, we did not get result. Our supervisor, principal investigator, was very, very upset because that much money, almost $9,000, is going to trash. So then we figured out the paraformaldehyde we purchased, instead of using paraformaldehyde for fixing the tissue, superior cervical ganglia, we were using Omnifix. Easy thing, as I told you earlier, there is no easy thing in science. You have to do hard work. So as I learned, I spent 1 full day to make 2% paraformaldehyde. Next time we got result, Journal of Neuroscience publication. So you have to work real hard, and then it will give you the way. You will find the way. Thank you. Yes, Clive.
Sir, if someone wants to pursue biotechnology in the direction of climate change, like you were saying, so what path should they take, in India especially?
There are hundreds of areas. I will name one scientist, Professor Anandamohan Chakraborty. Just a few years back, he passed away. World-renowned scientist. He designed the plasmid. I talked about plasmid in my last lecture earlier. The extra genomic circular DNA. Okay, so that plasmid he developed in cutting and rejoining and put the genes that will degrade the organic pollutant, like toluene, benzene, all those, and he named that superbug. So if you type superbug and AM Chakraborty, you'll get all the information. So that work, and now these bugs, as you spread bacterial strain, as you put over there, then they will absorb all those chemical and reduce the pollution. It was done. One of my graduate students was working on one of the fungal species, Aspergillus tubigensis, funny name, as you type, you'll get the information. This fungus grows on plastic. Eat away plastic. Plastic eating fungus. So why not giving a trial, just the plastic on the plastic, as you spray, it will automatically be degraded. But we have to do a lot more research before you market that. So there are hundreds of ways for, yes, you can do it. Yes, go ahead, please. Yes.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার। অ্যাকচুয়ালি স্যার আমি একটা জিনিস বলতে যাচ্ছিলাম, গ্লোবাল ওয়ার্মিং বা গ্লোবাল বয়েলিং যেটা বলছেন, সেটা তো আমাদের একটা ক্ষতিকারক দিকে তো আমি পৌঁছে যাচ্ছি। আবার আরেকটা দিকে আপনি একটা বলছিলেন যে নিউক্লিয়ার যে সমস্ত রিঅ্যাক্টরস গুলো হচ্ছে, সেইখান থেকে আমাদের আরেকটা ক্ষতিকারক দিকে আমরা এগিয়ে যাচ্ছি।
ঠিক ঠিক।
এবার আমাদের তো আরেকটা দিকে আমরা মানছি যে আমাদের এনার্জি ডিমান্ডও কিন্তু বাড়ছে,
খুব বাড়ছে।
প্রত্যেক বছর আমাদের এনার্জি ডিমান্ড যদি পার্সেন্টেজে করি, ইউনাইটেড স্টেটসেও আমাদের ইন্ডিয়াতেও মানে ফাস্টার, মানে প্রত্যেক বছরই বেড়ে যাচ্ছে। তাহলে আমরা ব্যালেন্স করবো কোন দিকটা?
Alternative energy. That's one major area that is developed, very well developed. খুব ভালো কাজ হয়েছে ইউনাইটেড স্টেটসে, টেক্সাসে particularly, even better than California. The last report I was looking presented by a business faculty we have. So what he was showing over there, Alternative Energy Institute. In Texas, wind is very heavy, so they utilize that to generate, electricity, and they are using the solar panel for providing electricity to your home. But it's still not yet that much marketable. But hopefully, it will be coming, like when you purchase a home, the solar energy. Solar energy is used here as well. I have seen in Nepal as well, in different other countries.
কিছু কিছু স্টেটসে আমাদের টু-ওয়ে ইলেকট্রিসিটি বিল মানে মিটার দিচ্ছে, ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল এখনো তৈরি করেনি। কিন্তু ইজ ইট পসিবল টু ব্যালেন্স দ্য এনার্জি অ্যান্ড দ্য ইজ ইট পসিবল টু মানে নিয়ার ফিউচারে যদি আমি ইলেকট্রিসিটি ডিমান্ড আর মানে ব্যাপারটাকে আমি ব্যালেন্স করতে পারবো? মানে আপনাদের মানে রেকর্ডস কি বলছে?
দেখুন, পুরো ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে কতটা এফর্ট আপনি দিচ্ছেন কাজের উপরে। আমি ওখানে আর একটা স্লাইড দেখিয়েছিলাম, আমি ডিটেলসে কথা বলিনি ওটা নিয়ে, যেটা নিয়ে প্রচুরবার টিভিতে বলা হচ্ছে। সিম্পল থিং একটা, আপনি ভাবুন টায়ার। আপনি কি জানেন আমাদের গাড়ির যদি ওখানে আমরা টায়ার চেঞ্জ করতে যাই, আমাকে $10 দিতে হয় ওটা রিসাইকেল করার ফি, এবং দে উইল টেক কেয়ার অফ দ্যাট সো দ্যাট ইট উইল বি রিসাইকেলড। এখানে টায়ারগুলো ফেলে রাখা হচ্ছে রাস্তার উপরে, শীতকালে ওটাকে জ্বালিয়ে দেওয়া হচ্ছে। এবার ওটা থেকে আমি জানি না কত থাউজেন্ডস অফ কার্সিনোজেনিক কেমিক্যালস PM 2.5 জেনারেটেড হচ্ছে। জল ভর্তি হয়ে যাচ্ছে ওটা, এই যে বৃষ্টি শুরু হয়েছে, কিছুদিন বাদে ডেঙ্গি শুরু হয়ে যাবে। এবারে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে যখন যে এই নাম্বারটা বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, যে আজকে কলকাতায় 5টা বাচ্চা মারা গেছে ডেঙ্গিতে, পরশুদিন এতগুলো লোক মারা গেছে, তখন কিন্তু লোকের টনক নড়ছে। ওখানে বারবার দেখাচ্ছে জল জমাবেন না, জল জমিয়ে রাখবেন না, বা ওই টায়ারে রাখবেন না। এটা শুরু করতে হবে 5 বছর পরের প্ল্যানটা ভেবে, এখন আজকেই শুরু করতে হবে, তবেই এটা করা সম্ভব। ওই যে বললাম স্ট্রিনজেন্ট ল, যারা টায়ার যাদের খারাপ হয়ে যাচ্ছে গাড়ির, তারা ওটা ফেলে দেবে বা যেখানে রাখবে একটা কভার্ড এরিয়ায় রাখবে, যদি ওটা রিইউজ করা হয়। যদিও ওই টায়ার রিইউজ করতে গিয়ে বহু অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হচ্ছে আজকে, আপনারা জানেন। তো ওইটাকে ব্যান করা দরকার, একদম ব্যান করে দেওয়া দরকার, সেইটা প্রবলেম করতে হবে। আপনার যে মেন প্রশ্ন ছিল সেটা আমি এড়িয়ে যাচ্ছি না, যে ব্যালেন্স করা সম্ভব কিনা। সম্ভব, নিউক্লিয়ার এনার্জিও ইউজ করা সম্ভব, সেফ সাইডে থেকে। এর মধ্যেই নয় আপনি কলকাতার গড়িয়াহাটে আপনি একটা প্ল্যান্ট খুলে দিলেন, তাহলে সেটা ডেঞ্জারাস হতে পারে। অনেক জায়গা খোলা পড়ে আছে, সেই জায়গাতে আপনি করতে পারেন, যেটা দূরে, অনেক দূরে, ইট উইল নট ডু এনি হার্ম টু ম্যানকাইন্ড। সেইভাবে যদি কিছু ব্যালেন্স করা যায়, থার্মাল এনার্জি ইউজ করা হচ্ছে বহু জায়গায়।
আমাদের দেশে তো নিউক্লিয়ার ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট করা, মানে এমনি ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্টই করতে পারেন না, নিউক্লিয়ার ওয়েস্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট করা।
I agree with you. That's unfortunate, but that's what I am telling. Like আমাদের এটা অ্যাওয়ারনেস নেক্সট জেনারেশন থেকে যাতে তৈরি হতে হয়। একটা সিম্পল এক্সাম্পল বলছি আমি ব্যাংককে গিয়েছিলাম, ফুকেতে। ওখানে একটি ইন্ডিয়ান ফ্যামিলি, বাচ্চা, তার খাওয়ার পরে প্লাস্টিক বটল নিয়ে সোজা সমুদ্রের মধ্যে ফেলে দিল। আমি গিয়ে পরে যাতে না ফেলে ওদের বাবা মাকে অনুরোধ করলাম এটা করবেন না, ওদের এখন থেকে শেখান যে প্লাস্টিক ওখানে ফেলা উচিত না। 1992 আমি প্রথম ওখানে গিয়ে প্রথম দুর্গাপুজো বসে আছি, খাওয়া হচ্ছে সকলে, ওদের শেখার এগুলো শেখার জিনিস আছে। ছোট বাচ্চা সবে চলতে পারে, একজন বাঙালি একটা কোক খেয়ে ক্যানটাকে ওখানেই ফেলে দিয়েছে, ওই বাচ্চাটা এইভাবে টলতে টলতে এলো, এসে ক্যানটা তুলে নিয়ে গার্বেজ বিনের মধ্যে ফেলে। দ্যাটস দ্য লার্নিং উই নিড টু হ্যাভ। আপনি যতক্ষণ না নিজে শিক্ষিত হবেন এবং অন্যকে শিক্ষিত করবেন, এগুলো প্রবলেম থাকবেই, আর সেটা খুবই দুঃখজনক ব্যাপার একটা। তবে হোপফুলি গভর্নমেন্ট উইল টেক প্রপার মেজার। আমি কিছু আর্টিকেল লিখি এবং মানে আগে সার্ভ করেছি গভর্নমেন্ট অফ ইন্ডিয়ার প্যানেলে বা অন্য এগুলোতে, তো সেটাই একমাত্র উপায়। আশা করা যায় গভর্নমেন্ট এগুলোতে ইনিশিয়েটিভ নেবে। স্ট্রিনজেন্ট ল, এটা করতে হবে, এইটা করা দরকার। আমি যেই ব্যাঘ্র প্রকল্পের উদাহরণটা দিলাম, সেইটা এখন আপনি গিয়ে সুন্দরবনে বাঘ মারতে পারবেন? যান তো, গিয়ে দেখুন, করতে যান, ধরে নিয়ে আপনাকে হ্যান্ডকাপ দিয়ে নিয়ে করতে। এই ধরনের যদি করা যায় যে আমি একটা গাছ কাটলে আমার 5 বছর 6 বছর জেল হবে, কেউ কাটতে যাবে না, ভয়তে কাটবে না। অল্টারনেটিভ ব্যবস্থা করতে হবে, সেটাই হচ্ছে। এনি আদার কোয়েশ্চেন? Yes, go ahead.
Due to time constraint, actually we are closing. This is going to be the last question. You have already asked, okay? Let other students take chance.
You can meet me separately.
Good afternoon,
I'll be
sir.
here around. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, one of in your slide you mentioned forensic scientist. So how can I be in that field?
Say it again. What?
Sir, forensic scientist.
Forensic science. Good question. Yes.
So how
Very
can
good
I
question.
be in that field?
2005, I was teaching forensic biology, one class with combined with 5 different professors in biotechnology, forensic scientists. Forensic biology is a big area, definitely. You have to learn all the biotechnological techniques like PCR, RT-PCR, how to isolate DNA, how to analyze the DNA, how to do DNA fingerprinting. In fact, back 2007, I organized one biotech workshop where we were just doing some fun experiments like parental detection, that's one. How to detect a criminal using DNA, and that is being very widely used by FBI. So one scientist from FBI, I'm just giving you an example, it is so interesting. There was a crime committed in the city of San Antonio. One little guard was brutally murdered. And of course, all the samples were collected, DNA samples were collected, and they were checking. They couldn't find anything. Almost 4 or 5 years, it remained unsolved. So this scientist who was presenting in the conference, a lady, and she was telling us that then she started collecting DNA from everyone, including a 12-year-old kid from the neighborhood, 100% match. So that guy, that young fellow, committed the crime. Why? I don't know, because that's psychological things and happens all over the world. So these guys stabbed the girl, so many times and killed. There were only the tissues left, in the nail and all those, and body fluid. Those are to be analyzed using. So that's a fun area, but you have to focus more towards biotech and learning the techniques. There are lots of things, fingerprinting and everything. There are biometrics. One of my graduate students worked on, she is teaching in Colorado now. She did the work, how to analyze the hair samples. Very interesting thing. So there are lots of things. Okay. All right, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for indeed wonderful session. Very useful insights in many of the common problems that we hear and the diversified subject area. So many of the students noting down, but some of students could not note down one information. This program is being live streamed in the YouTube link. So later on, I think you can go to the B8M YouTube channel You can once again watch the entire presentation because pretty difficult to remember all these facts. So there you can refer and you can note down the subject area points also and the career development views also. Okay, so we have another subject expert with us, Dr. Viswajit Ghosh, and who is a plant biotechnology expert. So I would invite him to share his lab experience, and we are looking forward to have future programs with us lab. So I would request Professor Viswajit Ghosh to give his lab experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Especially thanks to Director Sir Subrata Chaudhary, my direct teacher, Professor Amayanshu Chatterjee in my university life, and Professor Nabarun Ghosh. He is my brother, as a junior in my university life. Mr. Srinu and all distinguished persons present here and my beloved students. I am from Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Centenary College, Rahora. We are doing lots of work in biotechnology. Professor Nabarun Ghosh discussed several aspects of problems of environments and everything. The biotechnology is not create problem. They try to solve something in our problem. That is the difference. Now, everyone is talking about the biotechnology, but actually what is biotechnology is there is a lots of ambiguities there. You just keep in your mind that biotechnology basically based on two aspects or two principles. First thing is the product oriented, and that product must be novel. Novel means new product. They are not exist in anywhere of the world. You can't find any, or you can't use, or you can't hear the product name. It is the first one. Like all of you, the name of neem plant, the scientific name is the azadirachtin, and if you have an experience of the taste of the neem leaf is the bitter taste. Once you change the sweetener of the neem leaf, that is the novel product. It is novel product. That's within the bracket in biotechnological product. And another aspect is the process or protocol or procedure to improve. Nearly 700 BC, yeast is used for ethanol production. And still today, 2024, alcohol production in biotechnology is still viable. They have improved their substrate. They improve their strain. Lots of strains are changed through their mutation or go to genetic engineering. And lots of substrates are changed. This is the two basic principles. We are doing some work in biotechnology in my lab. If you're interested, you can visit. It is very near from the Shelda, only 30 minutes. And we are doing mainly the biomolecules. We isolated the biomolecules which are used as a drug. And all the biomolecules is isolated from our conventional indigenous plant. That is very important. One of the important molecule is the artemisinin. If you heard the name of artemisinin or arteether, this is the only molecules that are used for malignant malaria. Malaria, when the mosquito, the falciparum mosquito, not plasmodium, is create the disease is the malignant malaria. The plants is Artemisia annua can synthesize. Basically, plant itself a chemical laboratory. There is good chemist. They need not require valence, chemicals, measuring cylinders, pipettes. No, there is no need to plants. They can synthesize a large size, use macromolecules, which for our different diseases. We are trying to isolate the compound and manipulate the plant cell with the help of genetic engineering or agrobacterium-based transformation or in cell culture system. we have a tissue culture laboratory. Tissue cultures, I think some students already exposed in the test tube plants. Plants are not growing in the field, they are test tube plants. There is a no seed, but all plants are genetically identical. That is a very important issue. You see here is one species, all are Homo sapiens, and nobody is a clone of each other. Everyone is identified their own identity because of recombination of gene during the crossing over process. In case of plant system also, all plants are different. If you have an idea of the mango tree, now the season of mango, people practice the cuttings instead of seedling. It is from a long back, people say column plant, bola column gach lagano ho, keno. What is the utility? They avoid the sexual mode of reproduction or crossing over to change their genetic originality. That's why you can avoid the mixing of the gene during the crossing over. The plant biotechnology have a capacity to avoid this type of recombination process. And millions number of plants are produced in a single season. Any day you can visit my lab and see more than 1 million plants are there. And more than 60 species are there. So I think there is a lots of application already you read in the textbook. This very recently, just 5 to 6 days back, I see one report published in Nature Communication that human breast milk containing the 8 or 9 types of sugar is there, particularly some saccharides are there, polysaccharides or oligosaccharides. That can be synthesized by a plant of chia maize or corn plants. It is a very interesting. Even the insulin is now synthesized more than 3 or 4 types of plant through the biotechnological application. So you can enjoy the plant biotechnology for futures. I have no idea about the animal or health biotechnology, but I am very much interested and focused last more than 35 years in plant biotechnology.
What are the protein of the meat? Can you also
yes, they are also reported. There is a protein and enzymatic pathway, they also be managed. Even they change the particularly promoter regions, how they express in the system. Epigenetic. So I am said to very little bits because lots of things are here, but now time is constant, and I think if you have any questions, you can ask me during our other session, and you can search Nabarun Ghosh of Ramakrishna Mission and Plant Biotechnology in Google, and you can find out my details. And we arrange several techniques of turning, because the biotechnology without practical experience, I think there is no value. Practical and your confidence is required. Without just you see some YouTubes and like that, practical and YouTube is not the same. So I think you enjoy in your future in biotechnology, and appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your deliberation. May I now request our director, sir, Sri Subhabrata Chaudhary, for his views on the deliberations.
By the way, this picture of Subhabrata I have taken sitting in front of my TV in United States, and he was talking time to time. I see him on the TV as he want to. So as you can see on Z TV, he was talking about Birla Museum's history. So I took the picture at that time from my TV. So it was taken over there. Just wanted to share.
Yeah, thank you, Nabarun. So in fact, we have come to almost to the end of the program. Just to sum up, in fact, today's program can be, taken into 3 parts. First part is what Professor Ghosh has told, that from global warming now it has gone to global boiling situation. But my one question is there. Global warming was always there, because once we had this ice age, that it is not there. So global warming was there, but it has to be a controlled one. This is what I feel. Now, yes, we always talk about facilities in labs, facilities in colleges and other things, but what I would like to tell to the young guys that we have also individual roles to play. Maybe that I shared in different forums the same story, but some of you know the story. Once again, I'd like to repeat it. Once a king wanted to have a pond of milk. So he told his people, his countrymen, okay, can you just pour one bucket full of milk into the pond so that it can become a pond full of milk. So what the countrymen thought that okay, he will definitely pour milk. So let me pour water. Nobody will identify me. In that way, what has happened in the next day early morning? But it turned out to be a pond full of water. The same thing happening for environmental issues. We never take care of it till it hits us. The day we do not have electricity, the day we are running short of our water in the tap, the day we are finding very uneasy because of polluted air, we find that yes, there is something which we need to take care of. So at least in the individual level, if we decide to do something, supposing if I do not drop a piece of plastic over here, I can drop it. Don't worry, because others will do it. Even if we play our role as an individual, I think that we can come out before it goes to irreversible situation. That is what. Number two is that yes, career-wise, what Professor Ghosh has told, that there is no substitute for hard work. But one has to fix a very smart goal. I put it smart in the way S-M-A-R-T. Smart means S means it has to be very specific. M is measurable. Measurable means what is achievable. Because everybody has got his own limit. So specific, measurable. Third is achievable. Then R means realistic. And T is time targeted. Everything has to be time targeted. You do it. And keep plan A, plan B, and plan C ready. And the third part of today's program is some essence what Professor Vishwit Ghosh has given. He's an excellent scientist. He has got huge, unique lab facilities. I'll request my colleague Sri Srinu Apigonda to arrange for some visit, weekend visit, maybe during Saturdays, for our biotech lab students. Not only once, maybe one or twice or thrice. That will expose them to the latest things in the biotechnology. So with that, I thank you all once again. Thank you, sir, for coming over here. So generally at our age, we always, we do not get the blessings of sir nowadays. So thank you very much.
We have come to the conclusion. Before I propose vote of thanks, let me one more time just 2 points would like to put forth to you. One is that, as our directors have emphasized, at every level, every individual has got some responsibility. It is not that always scientists and research scholars or professors, they talk about all the global issues. And we do have got some responsibility to minimize, to mitigate the issues. Hoping that this is one of the takeaway message that so we'll be following in the coming days. That is one thing. The another point for the students especially, Professor Ghosh has talked about diversified areas in the area of biotechnology, from the nanobiotechnology and the microbiology, and the RDNA technology and forensic science. You see lot many topics he has talked about, not only just talked about, he's been covering these many areas, and you all happen to be biotechnology or biology aspirants. In the future, you would like to go in that line, you can refer those topics, the research, current trends, actually current research, how it's been happening, Professor Ghosh has highlighted. You can refer those, and the career development is coupled with those topics also. You can see in one of the slides he has mentioned how many areas are there where you can mold your career. Okay, so this session, I felt like you also felt it is indeed like not only in terms of subject orientation but also in terms of career development, a lot of insights are there. So on behalf of the BITM, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and thanks to Professor Nabarun Ghosh, having taken some time from the busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir. We look forward to you in the future occasions also, if you can spare the time and the way you are enriching our students, and we expect you from the future also. So thank you very much, sir. This is one thing. So we also express our sincere thanks to Professor Vishwajit Ghosh. As our director sir said, in the future programs we are planning to have some collaborative programs so that students will get much more exposure and different research fields exposure, so that some of the students can mold their career. So as Professor Vishwajit goes to emphasize the plant biotech applications, and future you will be getting beneficiaries. So we also express our sincere thanks to parents and students who have been our constant pillars for us, for coming over here, attending this session. We express our sincere thanks to honor viewers, our department sections who has helped us to bringing up this program. So with this, once again, thank you one and all, and concluding these sessions.